Hey guys, welcome to my channel. In this video, we will be discussing about perinatal asphyxia. What is asphyxia? It is difficulty in respiration in children in neonate. Perinatal. In neonate, there will be difficulty in respiration which leads to hypoxia, acidosis, hypercarbia. Hypercarbia means carbon dioxide will be increased. Hypoxia is decreased oxygen levels. Acidosis means increased H plus levels. And ischemia and hypoperfusion. Okay. In asphyxia, these are the things that will be present. You have to remember all these 5 things: hypoxia, hypercarbia, acidosis, ischemia and hypoperfusion. Okay. All these occur due to the insult in newborn. And how do you diagnose this asphyxia? If you want to diagnose clinically, it is mainly Apgar score. There are 4 things that you have to remember while diagnosing asphyxia, but mainly it will be dependent on Apgar score. What is Apgar score? In Apgar score, we take into consideration heart rate, respiration, color, muscle tone and neuromuscular reflex of the neonate. We see how all of these are present and we give some points to each one. And if you sum up all those points, if it is 0 to 3, then it is moderate asphyxia. Sorry, it is reverse. If it is 0 to 3, it is severe asphyxia, and if it is 4 to 5, it is moderate asphyxia. More than 1 minute. If you calculate this Apgar score more than 1 minute after 1 minute of birth, then if it is 0 to 3, then it is called severe asphyxia, and if it is 4 to 5, then it is called moderate asphyxia. Okay. If you cannot calculate Apgar score, then simply you can calculate by presence or absence of cry. Cry represents breathing in neonate. If there is absence of cry after 1 minute of birth, then it is called moderate asphyxia. It represents absent or inadequate breathing. So, if there is absence or inadequate breathing, then it is called severe asphyxia. Now, how we define this asphyxia? Asphyxia is said to be present if the following criteria are present. What are those criteria? First, acidosis. Prolonged acidosis has to be present. And Apgar score. At 5 minutes after birth, if you calculate Apgar score and if it is 0 to 3, if the score of Apgar score is 0 to 3 after 5 minutes of birth, and if there is multi-organ dysfunction and if there is neurological defects like presence of seizures, hypotonia, coma and hypoxia-induced encephalopathy in immediate neonate. All these things, if they are present, it indicates that there is asphyxia. Of these 4 things, this is very important. Apgar score has to be 0 to 3 at 5 minutes. Okay. Now, neuropathology related to this perinatal asphyxia. In term, there is selective neuronal necrosis in cerebrum, hippocampus, basal ganglion, cerebellum and anterior horn cells of spinal cord. Due to the neuronal necrosis in these areas, there will be some clinical features in the newborn. So, what are those clinical features? There will be decreased consciousness and seizures and abnormalities in feeding and respiration. These are the clinical features that you see when there is selective neuronal necrosis in these areas. Okay? Then, parasagittal cerebral injury. This parasagittal cerebral area is a watershed area, that is many arteries end there. has their endings over there. So you can predict that it is more prone to ischemia. If there is reduced blood supply due to some injury, then ischemia is likely to occur over parasagittal cerebral area, and this ischemia leads to upper limb weakness, and finally it leads to spastic quadriparesis. Quadri means all four limbs are involved. Two upper limbs, two lower limbs, all four limbs are involved in quadriparesis. And next, status marmoratus. In this there is hippocampus involved. Hippocampus and basal ganglion involved. We have seen that there will be selective neuronal necrosis in cerebrum, hippocampus, basal ganglion, cerebellum and anterior horn cells of spinal cord. If hippocampus and basal ganglion are involved, that is called status marmoratus. In this, what are the clinical features? There will be chorioarthritis, chorioethitosis. There will be chorioethitosis and there will be retardation and there will be spastic quadriparesis. Okay. Now, in preterm neonates, if there is perinatal asphyxia, then what are the things that can occur to the nervous system? In this, selective neuronal necrosis is rare, but there will be diencephalic neuronal necrosis, which involves thalamus, hypothalamus, brainstem, lateral geniculate body. Hypothalamus and lateral geniculate body may be involved or may not be involved, but thalamus and brainstem will be involved. And periventricular leukomalacia will be present. This is due to hypoxic ischemic insult. What is meant by hypoxic ischemic insult? Due to hypoxia, there will be ischemia. What is ischemia? That is cell death due to decreased blood supply to the particular tissue. There is decreased blood supply due to decreased blood supply in the sense decreased oxygen supply, which is called hypoxia. Reduced oxygen levels in the blood is called hypoxia, and that leads to ischemia. This is called hypoxic ischemic insult. It is also a watershed area. Periventricular area is a watershed area, and it is also more susceptible to ischemia as we discussed earlier. Here, parasagittal cerebral injury is also more susceptible to ischemia, and here periventricular leukomalacia is more susceptible to ischemia. This leads to lower limb weakness more than upper limb weakness. First there will be diplegia, then there will be quadriplegia. Two limbs are involved first, followed by four limbs involvement. And you see here, due to this ischemia, there will be necrosis, that is coagulative necrosis. And apart from quadriplegia, you also see visual impairment in these individuals. Hypoxia and acidosis followed by hyperoxia. What is meant by this? Hypoxia is reduced oxygen levels in blood, and acidosis means increased acid levels, that is H+ levels in blood, followed by hyperoxia. After some time of this hypoxia, there will be increased oxygen levels of blood. If this pattern is present, this indicates the involvement of pontine nucleus and subiculum of hippocampus. Okay. Now coming to management. Generally, if there is asphyxia, you do resuscitation. The main difference between resuscitation in neonate and resuscitation in adults is that in adults, we are mainly concerned with cardiac function. You have to improve cardiac function first rather than respiratory function. In neonates, we have to focus mainly on respiratory function. After that, you have to focus on cardiac function. So, respiratory function comes first in perinatal asphyxia, and in adults, you have to focus on cardiovascular system in adults. What are the things you have to consider after you do resuscitation in asphyxia? Post resuscitation asphyxia management. You have to regulate temperature. You have to avoid hyperthermia, because if there is hyperthermia, there will be more blood supply to the skin, because there will be vasodilatation in skin. If there is more blood supply to skin, blood supply to vital organs will be reduced. So you have to induce hypothermia, that to 30 to 35 degrees centigrade. Okay. Then oxygen levels. Hyperoxia or hypoxia both causes damage to neurons. So you have to ensure that oxygen levels remain 90 to 95%. And carbon dioxide has to be 40 to 50 millimeters of Hg. Temperature, oxygen, carbon dioxide. Now coming to perfusion. In asphyxia, what happens is blood supply will be directly proportional to blood pressure. Normally what happens, if there is increased blood pressure, there will be autoregulatory mechanisms that causes vasodilatation, so that blood supply will be increased. In asphyxia, autoregulatory mechanisms are damaged. So if there is increased BP or blood pressure, there is decreased blood supply. There will be no vasodilatation, so there will be decreased blood supply. If there is low blood pressure, there will be increased perfusion. So that becomes pressure passive. That is, perfusion becomes pressure passive. That will be dependent on pressure passively. Normally, it has to be like, if pressure increases, there has to be vasodilatation and increased perfusion. That autoregulatory mechanism is damaged, so it will be solely dependent on BP. If BP reduces, perfusion reduces, and vice versa. Okay. So we have to maintain perfusion. How we will maintain perfusion? That is by infusion of saline boluses or vasopressin. Saline boluses increases the volume of blood, and vasopressin causes constriction of blood vessels. Okay. Normal perfusion in term neonates, normal BP in term neonates is 40 to 45 millimeters of Hg. And in 1 to 2 kg newborns with 1 to 2 kg of birth weight, normal BP is 35 to 40 millimeters of Hg. In newborns with less than 1 kg of birth weight, the normal systolic BP is 30 to 35 millimeters of Hg. So you have to ensure that you maintain this kind of BP by infusion of saline boluses and oral vasopressin. Now you have to maintain optimum levels of glucose, because if there are more levels of glucose, there will be cerebral edema, and that causes further compression on blood vessels. Increased glucose levels causes withdrawal of fluid from the blood vessels. That leads to accumulation of fluid in brain, that causes cerebral edema, which further leads to reduced perfusion. Okay. If there is low levels of glucose, that is also toxic. Okay. So you have to maintain optimum levels of 75 to 100 milligrams per liter by giving IV dextrose. Okay. And you have to infuse glucose by IV dextrose after measuring glucose levels of baby. And metabolically, the changes will be hypocalcemia and hyponatremia, and other electrolyte disturbances are also seen. You have to monitor all these things. Monitoring these things is important, because if you don't monitor hypoglycemia or hypocalcemia or hyponatremia, this will ultimately result in seizures. These are present in 20 to 50% of the neonates with asphyxia in 1 or 2 days. So, presence of asphyxia leads to seizures in 20 to 50% of neonates. What is the treatment you give when there is presence of seizures? You give phenobarbital or phenytoin. And if the seizures are stopped within 3 to 4 days, no treatment has to be given. You have to see if there are seizures or not. If there are seizures for 3 to 4 days, if there are no seizures for 3 to 4 days, you should not give phenytoin or phenobarbital. If there are seizures, then you have to administer these drugs and you have to stop the treatment after seizures have been stopped. And you have to stop phenobarbital only after discharge. You have to also monitor neuronal changes. Finally, we come to prognosis. There will be bad prognosis if there is no spontaneous respirations. There is one classification called Levin's classification of hypoxia-induced encephalopathy. In this, we consider 4 main things. Those are consciousness, muscle tone, seizures, sucking or respiration. We divide severity of HIE, that is hypoxia-induced encephalopathy, into mild, moderate, severe depending on these characteristics. In mild HIE, there will be irritable consciousness, irritability. So, alertness is increased, newborn is more irritable, and tone will be reduced, and there will be no seizures, and sucking is also poor. So, this has good prognosis. And in moderate HIE, newborn shows lethargy and there will be moderate hypotonia. In this, normal mild hypotonia will be present. In this, moderate hypotonia is present, and there is also presence of seizures, and there will be no sucking. And in this prognosis is, in 20% of patients with moderate HIE, there will be adverse effects of neurological development will be present. And in severe HIE, patient is comatose, newborn is comatose, that is in comatose state, coma state, and tone will be severe hypotonia will be present, and seizures are prolonged, and spontaneous respirations are also absent. So, half of the patients with severe HIE will die. Okay, this is Levin's classification of HIE and their prognosis. Oliguria, if less than 1 milligram per day is present for more than 3 days, then it is said to be oliguria, that is kidney is damaging. So this is bad prognosis. And if seizures are present within 7 to 10 days, more than seizures are present for more than 7 to 10 days, then it is also bad prognosis. Now we completed perinatal asphyxia. Thanks for watching my video.